Hello and welcome to this brief tutorial on the Called Worker Compensation Calculator. My name is Martin Spriggs and I'm privileged to serve you as the Synod's Chief Technology Officer, and I want to spend the next 5 minutes or so just giving you a quick tour of this new calculator. As you can see, we have some fields already on the screen, and those fields are waiting for data to be entered by you. Once data begins to fill these fields, there will be what we call a tape on the right-hand side of the screen that will show the calculations as you enter them. So let's dive right in and just give you a quick demo. So we're going to enter a name here in the call worker name section. And now you see on the right-hand side that tape I was talking about. And it has two segments, at least at this point, one for salary components and one for benefits components. And these will continue to be built out as you add data in the left-hand side. One of the first things that you'll want to do is fill this position field. So what kind of called worker is it? If we leave this box unchecked, we're just going to see the congregational positions. If you want to fill in synodical positions, click that box and you'll see the list expand greatly, and you can enter things for home missionaries, world missionaries, workers at our synod schools as well. I'm just going to leave this unchecked and pick teacher as an example. And you'll notice right away that on the right hand side we have more information flowing into the tape. First of all, we have a suggested base salary, and those are based on the available columns for that particular position type, in this case a teacher, columns C through F. If you want to see the entire matrix, all of the columns and all of the years of service, you can click this link here. There's also a link up here under the help menu that gives you that salary matrix. This suggested base salary and some of these other fields, you'll notice, have a question mark next to them. That means there's help text there. So if we were to click on the one next to suggested base salary, we'd see some information about what goes into the computation of those salary numbers and that range. We'll get back to this base salary input field in just a minute. But let's continue down the form and begin to populate the total compensation for John Smith, our teacher. We have additional responsibilities, and for each position the responsibilities may vary, and each position has a dollar figure attached to them. To see that and a description of the position itself, again, let's click on this help icon, and up will pop all of the responsibility types and the dollar figures that will be added to that salary if you select them. So let's pick department chair and vice principal, assistant principal. You notice down here under additional responsibilities, we have two items now, and they total $2,000, so they were each $1,000 each additional. We have additional education, so let's say this teacher has a master's degree and is state licensed, and you see those fill in here as well. Let's continue to move down the form. We have costs of living adjustments, and these are based on the latest data from the government, and we can see all of the selections there. And if we see one that fits your situation, you can select that. Or, and you notice that it fills in the COLA index here, which is a negative number for Arkansas. Or if you don't feel that those are accurate, you can enter your own COLA percentage here by checking this box, and that gives us the ability to enter a number. But we're going to leave it set to Conway, Arkansas. We also have a housing area where we can put in our annual housing allowance for the call worker. Or we can select that there is housing provided and just give them equity, which by Synod standards is based on 2% of column C with 0 years experience. You can, if you select this equity, also enter a fair market value, which is used in the calculation of SECA. We're just going to use the annual housing allowance and put a figure in there. Let's move to the top. This can be selected at any time. Best to select this at the beginning after you put in the call worker name. This call worker happens to be male, so we'll keep that. You can select the fiscal year. We have two available, 2017 and 2018. As new salary matrices are approved, we'll add more fiscal years. Here's where you will enter in years of service. You enter in the matrix itself only goes up to 32 years, so that will be the max for this field. So let's enter a number there. Let's say 5, and you notice that it populates over here as well. So we're getting our tape to be a little bit more filled out. Health insurance, these are all annual numbers. Just be careful when you enter that you're not entering a monthly or a quarterly number. So let's put in health insurance, and these are not required fields. Really, the only required fields would be called worker name and position. You don't necessarily have to add additional responsibilities or education. The rest will take care of themselves. But let's put in a number here. Let's say $10,000. So you have a link here, handy link to the Wells VEBA rates if you need to look that number up for the particular year you're running the calculator for. We have employer contributions, long-term disability, accidental death, and dismemberment. All of those are available here as benefit items. Remember, we separated salary components from benefit components. So let's just add one here, 150. And just make sure you read through the information, and if you're curious about something, just make sure you click on the question mark icon. You notice down here we have a clear and a print. Clear would clear the form so you can start over if you'd like to start over or enter information for another call worker, and print, and we'll come back to that in a minute. You notice there is one field in the tape area, and that is the base salary. And this is where you would select what the compensation salary is going to be, or what the base salary is going to be for that particular call worker. The Synod provides guidance there on the suggested range, and that's based on the salary matrix, of course. And if we enter a number below that, we're going to get an alert. It will still allow you to enter the data, and the calculations will still flow through, but it's just reminding you that you are outside of the recommended range. So let's go back and enter something inside the range, and that notice will go away. And you can see all of the information that we've entered is now appearing here. But with one addition, now that we've entered our own base salary, we can see calculations down at the bottom, and these calculations are based on that base salary. We see total compensation, a little box here that shows without benefits and with benefits, and then all the calculations that went into getting to or arriving at that number. And there is some help text here as well. If we move to the top, we see that print button appear up in the navigation bar at the top, and we still have this print button. So now let's say we are ready to finalize things, and we want to print a copy for storage, and we're just going to click the print button here. It will give you a print ready view, nicely laid out, and it'll show you all of the potential input areas, even if you didn't enter any data for them, so you could write them in if you wanted to do that later. And then you have a print button, which is actually going to open up your print dialog box from your browser, where you can pick your destination printer or print it to a PDF, and it gives you this nice print ready format that you can print out with the date already attached there. So that is really the quick walkthrough of the calculator. You can click cancel here and go back and change your numbers, tweak them, etc. You can go through this process as many times as you like, but hopefully that gives you an idea of what it's all about, and there are some pieces of information you may want to explore up here, an FAQ, there's some help text, who to contact in case there are questions. So thank you for viewing, and blessings on your work in His service.